Hello and welcome back to Pokémon X, where today we are going to be working towards getting our final gym badge. And also over in Ultrasun, we're going to continue trying to find a shiny Xerneas, but we'll see if it actually shows up before regular Xerneas does here in Pokémon X. It does not have much less time, or much more time to shine before that. It was 3,000 years ago. The ultimate weapon was used, and many Pokémon lost their lives. The Pokémon attached to the stones on Route 10 are an energy source for using the ultimate weapon. I'll leave my fate to Lysander, but I'm worried about tomorrow. I've been saved by Lysander's support. We're absorbing the energy from the mysterious tree. But that's it. There isn't a Pokémon anywhere near here. All systems are go for the ultimate weapon. All we have to do is charge it using every bit of that thing's power. Everyone in the whole world must be happy before any one person can be happy. That's entirely untrue. But the world is too big and there are too many people in Pokémon, so there isn't enough happiness to go around. So everyone in the world has to be happy before any one person can be happy, which means nobody can be happy as long as somebody somewhere is unhappy. Have you ever been happy in your life, ma'am? Ever in your life, at any point? Because if so, I hate to break it to you, but your philosophy is, misguided. The ultimate weapon's flower has finally bloomed above the soil. Don't you find its beauty captivating? No, also I'd like to point out that Xerosic pressed the button to turn it on. I pressed the button that made it not go, and he just completely ignored you telling me that I had the ability to decide or determine whether or not it would be activated, so it's being activated against your will. I thought you should know. As we speak, it draws its energy from the legendary Pokémon. Garnet, I apologize that the weapon was unearthed even after you chose correctly in the lab. Okay, but you can still just not do it. But conflicting egos drive this world. Things don't always go the way you want. Ultimate weapon? We won't let you use it. Even though resources, space, and energy on this planet are limited, the number of people in Pokémon has increased to an unsustainable level. Is it unsustainable yet? I feel like it's still plenty sustainable. Whether it's money or energy, the ones who steal are the ones who win in this world. Are they, though? Like, even most power plants we see in the Pokemon franchise these days use renewable sources. Like, there's plenty of energy to go around. So what? That doesn't give you the right to destroy everyone except the few that Team Flare chooses. So, tell me, the Mega Ring, did you share it? No, but also I haven't been using it. I'd gladly give it to this guy. That's different. We did compete to see who got it, but when there is only one of something, it can't be shared. It can. Have you ever heard of the term joint custody? When something can't be shared, it will be fought over. And when something is fought over, some must survive without it. The only way to create a world where people live in beauty, a world without conflict or theft, is to reduce the number of living things. Or to increase the number of things that they have so that there's no need to fight because they don't have any scarcity. You know, just... What about Pokemon? Oh, he's crying. Why are you crying? Pokemon shall no longer exist. Pokemon are wonderful beings. Humans have worked with Pokemon, and we have helped each other flourish. But precisely because of that, they will inevitably become tools of war and theft. Enough of this. Have you stopped to consider how much of this world's economy runs specifically because of Pokemon? You want to stop the ultimate weapon, and I refuse to do so. Also, like... It's been ages since we last saw an animal that wasn't a Pokemon in the Pokemon franchise. So, like, if Pokemon stop existing, I guess everyone in the world is instantly vegetarian, yeah? That or cannibals. You want to stop the ultimate weapon, and I refuse to do so. So, I will keep you busy for just a moment. I forgot that this sequence in Pokemon X and Y basically has you fight Lysander 3 times in a row. I mean, yeah, there was one Team Flare Grunt outside of this base, but, like, that hardly counts. Lysander still doesn't have his Mega Stone, so we Thunderbolt the Gyarados, and it stops being a Gyarados. Finally, we get Signal Beam. Honestly, I think we get rid of Dragon Pulse, even though I spent a heart scale on it. Because Dragon Pulse is only super effective against Dragon, and we've kind of got that covered with Dragon Claw on Charizard and Dazzling Gleam on Gardevoir. I think I used Dragon Pulse all of once. Good old Pyroar, the only member of Lysander's team that Gardevoir isn't super effective against. Fire Blast is kind of underwhelming animation-wise in this game. Also very rude of it to get the burn, but thankfully we're using a special attack. Strength to protect, huh? But what are you really protecting? A tomorrow that will only end up being worse than today? No, sir. You seem to have neglected to consider the possibility for societal advancement. things can get better. Like, sure, eventually they might get worse, but this is a game series in which people have been to space. And I don't doubt that Pokemon would make it a heck of a lot easier to colonize other celestial bodies. Like, it's a thing. You're as strong as ever. But it's too late. There's no hope for you now. Go down to the lowest floor and see for yourself. It's not over until it's over. Garnet, let's look for the legendary Pokemon. Trainers are protected by Pokemon, but they protect Pokemon too, right? Look, that's the entrance to the lower floors over there. Okay, but are you gonna, like, heal my Pokemon for me? No, you're not. Why are you even here? You're acting like you're contributing, but you're doing nothing. At least heal my Pokemon if you're gonna tag along and act like you're helping. Let's hurry. You literally slowed me down to say that. I'm afraid we're gonna have to ask you to turn back. The legendary Pokemon is at the end of this chamber, after all. Why did you tell them that? Who would even do something like that? I mean, we were gonna go to the end of this hallway anyway, so it's not like telling us it's gonna change what we were gonna do. Okay. Calum? I know you've been terrible at this game for the entire duration of this game, but I'm going to trust you. You have a psychic type, they have a Toxicroak. There is exactly one thing you need to do. One thing. I'm going to trust you, and I'm going to click Dazzling Gleam. You just need to use a psychic move. I know it's tempting to use Fake Out, but you just need to use a psychic move. Or if you are using Fake Out, use it on the Liepard, because that one might have Fake Out and be using it on me. Alright, he didn't use Fake Out. There is a chance that Calum is not going to be an absolutely terrible trainer right now. A chance. He actually did the right thing. Thank you, Calum. For once in your life, you have done the right thing. You fools, you don't even have suits. You might be strong, but your teamwork is still a bit lacking. Our teamwork is lacking when we just cleaned you out on the first turn? Like, Calum did exactly the thing he needed to do, and you're telling us his teamwork is lacking? That's right, the legendary Pokemon is deep within our secret headquarters, but its energy is being absorbed into the ultimate weapon. Maybe they were saying that our teamwork was lacking because I had to give Calum that little talk before he chose the right move. Searching deep in Kalos' mountains for the legendary Pokemon was backbreaking work. All that dirt completely wrecked my nice white suit. I don't know, it looks fine to me. I can't... You gotta leave that on screen longer, Calum. I believe he said that he gets what Lysander's trying to say, but the way he's going about it is completely wrong, which, what he's trying to say is wrong to begin with. Even if things are just as we heard, I can't believe they're sending smart guys like us to run off some little Rattata that wandered in. I feel like you don't need the quotation marks. Like, if you were gonna say we're gonna run off some little rats that wandered in, you wouldn't put quote marks around the rats. We won't lose. You won't get one step farther. The trainers moving on to the next level will be Team Flare. Please let me trace Lightning Rod. Okay, we got Intimidate. Not the worst, but I would have preferred Lightning Rod. At least since we're doing double battles with Calum now, he is healing our Pokemon between battles. The fact that he faked out the Manectric. Calum, you're growing. Faked out the one he knew my Dazzling Gleam wouldn't take care of. Or more realistically, it was probably a 50-50 shot at which one he would fake out, and we just won the coin flip. Yes, I lost, but no matter. Lysander is the one who will take care of things. I may have lost, but it doesn't matter. Lysander will take care of everything. They said the same thing, but with slightly different words. The 5 million I paid to join Team Flare won't go to waste, right? So, that would be 5 million Poké Dollars. Which again, Poké Dollars are Japanese yen in the Japanese versions of this game. When this game came out, it was a lot closer to 100 yen being $1. And thus, dude paid 50 grand to get into Team Flare. I just can't keep listening to selfish fools anymore. The only thing that matters is that the members of Team Flare are happy. Garnet, Calum! Shauna, what are you doing here? Sorry. I know, I'm just going to slow you down. You already are. But friends should stick together. I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking clearly and I didn't consider your feelings. Thank you for coming. Friends should stick together. Garnet, we'll all stick together, right? If it gets us going faster, sure. It's settled then. Shauna, Garnet, and I will go ahead. Stay close, okay? Okay, thank you. Our plans haven't succeeded just yet. We cannot afford any careless mistakes. Who's got that flare? Team Flare. Yeah, we've got that flare. Team Flare. You know, one thing I will say about Team Flare, it's one of the only enemy teams where we know for a fact we face the same grunts several times. Which also makes it seem like Team Flare is a much smaller operation, actually. I don't know if that's a good thing. Oh, wait. Calum isn't healing our team between battles. Calum, don't you know that it's considered proper manners to heal your partner's team after a double battle? In which you did cooperative action? Like every other game in the franchise, if you do a double battle with an NPC partner, your team gets healed at the end of it. Calum, why are you so bad at this? I thought you were growing, but you're not sticking to the established norms. Dude's got so much to learn about being a Pokemon trainer. That, or he thinks he's the protagonist. Lysander is like the sun to us. He represents our hope. Phlogiston extinguished. Who's got that flare? Team Flare. Yeah, we've got that flare. Team Flare. We're worried about an uncertain future, but Lysander showed us how to get to his certain future. And all it requires is much murder of people and Pokemon. We have to stop the ultimate weapon. Hey, look, a door. An electronic lock. Now what? This might help. It's a device that helps you when you're stuck on a puzzle. Clement gave it to me. An electronic lock and a puzzle are the same sort of thing, right? Ta-da! The lock opened. Oh, and the device actually broke. Not bad, Shauna. Well, Clement was the one who made it, but you brought it here. So I guess both of you are pretty great. We're finally here. The legendary Pokemon is inside. Let's save it together. So, it's a device that solves a puzzle. In this case, the puzzle is put the right code into this lock. Either that device just brute forced it real quick, or use some powerful observation techniques or whatever. Maybe it looked at heat signatures left on buttons and the relative orders of stuff. And looks like we're about to have double Xerneas on screen. So this is the place. It's really hard to breathe in here. Feels like there's a weight on my chest. Hey, is that thing that looks like a tree the legendary Pokemon? It doesn't look like it's alive, but... And where did you 5 or 6 come from? That's none of your business, kids. The ultimate weapon has taken 99% of the legendary Pokemon's energy. But just to make double sure nothing goes wrong, let's take these runts out. No, I hate being chased. It's the Pokeball factory all over again. Garnet, you take care of things here. I'll protect Shauna. Make sure to take care of those runts that ran away. I should have expected as much from kids who made it clear down here. It was a pretty simple tactic, but it managed to split us up. That girl's pretty good. So you really think you can beat us? Yeah. Shouldn't be too hard. The ultimate weapon is stealing the legendary Pokemon's power. What a terrible neighbor Caleb is. Didn't heal our team even once. He healed us after the battle before the last gym, when we were like 20 steps away from a Pokemon Center. But now that we're deep in an enemy base, he can't spare any heals? What a jerk. Taking all of the legendary Pokemon's life force is an unfortunate necessity to realize our goals. There's no way everybody can be happy. Each of us has different dreams. That just means that you can be happy in different ways. Not everyone is made happy by the same thing. That doesn't mean it's impossible for them to be happy at the same time. Do you actually think all living things can be truly happy? Maybe not simultaneously, but like... doesn't mean there's no reason to keep trying. Maybe I should have stayed in. We did have Limber. Nope. Well, we can make double blade work. That's just Sacred Sword. And a Shadow Sneak will clean this up. Of course. You don't even try to understand Lysander and all that he suffers for. Yeah, because there's not much to understand. He's flat wrong. One person's pleasure is another person's pain, right? No, not necessarily. Take, for instance, just imagine that you're talking to a friend. Your friend tells you a joke, and it makes you laugh. And you laughing makes them laugh. Is anybody in pain in this scenario? Taking all of the money and stuff for ourselves will make a world where Team Flare is happy. I don't know, I'm told money can't buy happiness. That said, money can absolutely buy the conditions where happiness can be created. Can't believe a Fire Blast and a Fire Fang burned my Greninja back to back. You trying to stop Team Flare from obtaining happiness? What a vile person you are. I mean, when your happiness comes at the cost of mass murder, it's arguably not a good thing. Not having a ton of money is really stressful, you know. I do know that, actually. But There's more to things than just that. Right. A para-curing berry. I sure don't. And this full restore is the only thing I have that can cure para. So, yeah. I guess I'm just stuck with a paralyzed Doublade. Do I have an elixir in here? No, only ether. Got multiple ethers, though. Just gonna get D-Gleam back up, though. If you guys think we'll let you join Team Flare after all this, you've got another think coming. Oh, hey, Darksiders 4 announced. That's pretty neat. I have never played a Darksiders game, but I've heard good things. Heard they're like Zelda games, kind of. But I also heard the same about Okami, which wasn't very Zelda-y. You're just trying to benefit from our success, aren't you? No, I'm trying to prevent your success. It's different. No way. This puts the no in no way. Contact Lysander. Call for reinforcements. Noise. And our Ultra Sun Xerneas has refused to shine. So therefore, we are about to have double X on screen. Can I get a second Xerneas check-in before Xerneas appears in Pokémon X? Nope. And it's in its non-combat form, which you hardly ever see. Because, weirdly enough, when we send Xerneas out in combat, it's always in combat. So we outspeed it. Let's go ahead and tag it with a Thunderbolt. Just for the chance at para. That did not do too much damage. So let's go ahead and tap it with a Psychic. And Mega Horn is not going to be pleasant for Gardevoir. But Gardevoir has served her purpose. Let's bring out Ampharos for a Thunder Wave, and then we are going to huck Pokeballs. So it's got Moonblast, Gravity, Mega Horn. Does this Xerneas know Geomancy? If it does, we're honestly not all that boned, because Moonblast is the only move it can use with it, and also we just caught it because... Isn't its catch rate, like, absurdly high for a legendary? I feel like it is. Xerneas, the life Pokemon. Legends say it can share eternal life. It slept for 1,000 years in the form of a tree before its revival. And I ended up reaching and catching Xerneas before finding a shiny Xerneas in Ultra Sun. Great, now they can't use the ultimate weapon. You're amazing, Garnet. A legendary Pokemon wanting to be your friend like that, it's unbelievable. What a startling development. I never would have thought you really were a chosen one. So this is the mighty Xerneas? I expected more from a Pokemon called a legend. You desire help from people? You need help from a human? What's going on with that outfit? Is that really you, Lysander? Yeah, he put on a visor. Literally nothing else about his silhouette changed. Oh, whatever. Garnet already beat you. What are you doing here? For me, victory is using the ultimate weapon. In order to do that, I need to reclaim the legendary Pokemon's power and send it to that weapon once again. I'll be taking the legendary Pokemon back now. This time, I won't lose. I wonder, if we had defeated Xerneas instead of catching it, how would this dialogue change? I, too, shall use the Mega Ring and Mega Stone that you researched during your travels. Did we research it, though? I feel like I did exactly 0 research. Like, I was given the thing and was told, hey, you can use this to Mega Evolve Pokemon. That's the extent of it. Also, what are those, like, beetle drone camera things even supposed to be for? Like, I feel like they wouldn't give you any information your eyes don't already give. Also, why are we battling on the surface of the sun? This feels dangerous. Oh, hey, for once, Greninja didn't get burned. And this Gyarados will be Mega Evolving. Going to be Water Dark, which means that we actually don't have a good answer for it here on Greninja. I think I'm going to swap to Ampharos, even though I know we're going to take a pretty strong move from a Mega Gyarados in just a moment. Maybe I should have swapped to Gardevoir, because that way we could get an Intimidate on it before it takes a KO and thus gets Moxie boosted. Alright, it gets Mold Breaker, not Moxie. Moxie is the hidden ability for Gyarados. I really should have swapped to Gardevoir if it was going to use Outrage. Alright, that's Ampharos gone, but that's fine. Kind of bugs me that Mega Gyarados changes shape to look more like a shrimp. Alright, well, that's the last thing this Gyarados gets to do unless Lysander believes in using healing items. Which he does not. It's over. Fools with no vision will continue to befoul this beautiful world. They will go on until the only thing left to do is squabble over the remaining scraps of hope. Screaming noise. Know what I think? Even if there's only a little bit of something, it's still best to share it. Even you managed to use Mega Evolution. That's because Gyarados shared its power with you, didn't it? And not just Gyarados, but your other Pokemon too. The legendary Pokemon is gone, so you can't use the ultimate weapon anymore, right? You don't have to worry about the future all alone. Couldn't everybody work together to make a beautiful world? If that were possible, all wars would have ended long ago. I can only see one future. One where selfish, foolish humans think about nothing other than themselves and steal more and more from one another. It's a tragic future. The original purpose of this device was to bring a Pokemon back to life, but the ancient king transformed it into this ultimate weapon. When the legendary Pokemon awakened, it took back much of its energy, its power, that had been sent to the ultimate weapon. There's not much power left, but there is enough to use it once. Garnet, Sycamore's pupils, let us live forever. That's right, I shall grant you eternal life. I'll give you the pain of endlessly waiting for a beautiful world to finally be built. Garnet, Shauna, let's get out of here. Outlander, there's no current active war in the Pokemon world that we're aware of. But you do have to remember that Lieutenant Surge served in a war. And that, where Lieutenant Surge was the gym leader in, you know, the original games, which take place only a few years before Pokemon X and Y. Like, there had to have been a war recently enough that Lieutenant Surge could have served in it. And so Lysander is almost certainly old enough to remember it. So, like, give him that. He does probably have experience living in a time where a war was going on. Phew, I'm so glad you're all safe. I really respect the courage and kindness all of you showed. Thank you. We all got out in one piece. Are you guys all okay, Tierno? Yep, as you can see, we're doing great. Thanks for asking. We worked together to save the Pokemon connected to the stones on Route 10. I mostly left battling with Team Flare to Cena and Dexio, though. Who are these Cena and Dexio you speak of? We're the masked heroes. Don't worry about it, Tierno. We were all doing the best we could to stop Team Flare's plans. Oh, we have a little bit of news for you all. We managed to destroy the machine in Lysander's lab that was spying on people's holocaster transmissions. So we won't have to deal with Team Flare anymore. Now I can go back to filling up my Pokédex. So it's finally over, right? We can go back to our adventure, right? Let's go back to Anastar City and start over from where we left off. Thanks, Garnet. I respect you as a friend. That's why I want to beat you in battle as your rival. A long, long time ago. A very long time ago. The man made an ultimate weapon. Using it required the life force of many Pokémon. The Pokémon granted eternal life learned this. The resurrected eternal Pokémon left the man's side. The man was surprised and sad. He had revived it so they could be together. Day after day passed, but they were never to meet. Eventually, he became a mere shell of a man. A man condemned to wander forever by the light of the weapon. And a Pokémon that also wanders eternally. Where is it now? What do I have to do to meet it? So is anyone going to pick these buildings up and set them back down? I mean, they were just knocked over. I feel like you could get a bunch of people together to give them the old heave-ho. So it has come to my attention. I'm not going to bother getting multiples of 10 alone because I've already got plenty of Premier Balls. But it has come to my attention that I need a few more healing supplies. Why am I buying Hyper Push? There's full restores available. 40 ought to do. And I'll get some full heals as well because it feels bad to use a full restore when a full heal will do. Like if you're at full health but just paralyzed, it feels bad to use a full restore. Let's get some super repels. Not that I intend to use them, but hey, we'll have them. Do you have a minute? I'd like to talk to you face to face. Let's meet in Koraway Town. Actually, it's probably Kuraway. Either way, it's the direction we were already going. Now we've got a new route, which means I need to find what Pokemon are on it and probably figure out that I don't want any of them. Yep, I don't want any of them. And wow, Pokemon Y gets such a better end of this deal here. Because Pokemon X gets Laren here. And I mean, sure, Aggron's cool. One of the coolest Pokemon that ever existed. Meanwhile, Pokemon Y gets freaking Pupitar, which evolves into Tyranitar, which is one of the best Pokemon that ever existed. And also isn't much less cool than Aggron. Also, if memory serves, when you count the Pokemon that you can get through the Friend Safari, I think Pokemon Y just ends up having more exclusives total than Pokemon X. It might be the other way around, but either way. One of the versions has fewer Pokemon that are fully exclusive to it than the other because of what they put in the Friend Safari. With my shorts on, there's no stopping me. I can go anywhere. What about especially cold places? Or how about through a field of knee-high poison ivy? That's probably not somewhere you would go with shorts. Scolipede, Pinsir. Shorts or not, a trainer can't go anywhere if his Pokemon are feeling down. I was nowhere near that. Incidentally, Durant is one of the secrets to doing really well in the Battle Maison. Are Pokemon moves just the coolest? I really wish I could use them. Because the thing is, Durant can learn the move Entrainment, which makes the target's ability the same as the Durant's ability. And Durant's hidden ability is Truant. And not a single Pokemon in the Battle Maison is built around having its ability changed to Truant. And therefore, you can use a Durant to completely trivialize a lot of battles. Because you just give them Truant, and then swap to a setup Pokemon with Protect. Like, you got Protect in Swords Dance, you've basically got a ticket to victory. Or better yet, Protect and Dragon Dance, because that way you got speed stuff. Pokemon moves are just so cool. I'm a big fan of Brick Break, but what I'd really like to be able to use is Hydro Pump. I'd spray everyone down. This girl. Man, I really wish I had a fire hose that I could just unleash on everyone. That's what she just said. Isn't this the reverse battle house? Oh, I wasn't expecting a visitor in a place like this. You seem to be a pretty good trainer. Shall we have a rather strange Pokemon battle? I call this an inverse battle. With my mysterious power, I will reverse type matchups for a while. Super effective moves will not be very effective. Moves that are not very effective will be super effective. What do you think? Does it sound fun? You may understand it in theory, but when you try it, you'll find that it's more difficult than you thought. Would you care to try an inverse battle? Super effective moves will not be very effective. The moves that are not very effective will be super effective. I really wish inverse battles were actually a thing that stuck around, because they are at least somewhat interesting. Also, dang it, this Pyro's got a rivalry, and now we're stuck with it. Good news is, Dazzling Gleam is super effective against it. Hey, look! Another Pokemon that Dazzling Gleam is super effective against. Unfortunately, Rivalry is now harming us. Not that it mattered. Okay, so this Kecleon, we should use something against it that we can then be not very effective against with one of our other Pokemon, because if it attacks our Gardevoir, she is going down. I think what we do is we use Psychic on it. Oh. I guess Gardevoir's not going down. So, we can't hit Psychic for super effective damage, but we can use Dragon Claw. And then we can Flamethrower. So, there is only a 1 in 3 chance that this thing's Sleep Talk can actually cause damage. Because Sleep Talk doesn't have the priority that Sucker Punch needs to work. It can choose Rest, which doesn't do anything. Or it can choose Slash. Anyway, let's go ahead and Dragon Claw this thing. It should get rid of it. If it doesn't, oh well. If you're going to use Rest Talk, I feel like you need to have more than one option that can do a single thing during rest. That battle may have tired me out even more than my Pokemon. Great! You understand inverse battles pretty well. So I'll give you 3 of these. didn't tell you about my brother's mysterious power. With it, he can reverse Pokemon type matchups. It's really crazy. Normally, a fire-type move would be super effective against a grass-type Pokemon, but with my brother's mysterious power, it's the opposite. Fire-type moves become not very effective against grass-type Pokemon. What are you waiting for? Get out there and try to use as many super effective moves as you can. This strange power that reverses type matchups. Unfortunately, I can't use it very often. Please come back tomorrow. When it comes to climbing, you can ascend or descend. Which do you prefer? Descending. But even that, there's limits. The sorest my calves have ever been was on a day where I went on a trip in Japan to Nokogiriyama and took a cable car up to the top because there's neat stuff all over the mountain. Like, the whole mountain is basically a temple. And there's statues all over it and a bunch of stairs winding up, down, all around, etc. And while I spent hardly any time at all climbing stairs that day, I went down a whole lot of them. According to my phone's fitness tracker or whatever, I had gone down the equivalent of nearly 100 flights of stairs that day. And yeah, my calves were just dead the next day. Completely ruined. And yeah, my apartment was at the top, or on the 3rd floor of its building, and there was no elevator. It was only stairs to get up there. And basically I had to skip out on my classes the next day because I could not go down those stairs without dying. Looks like my battling luck is going downhill. I tell you, the only reason I climb up a mountain is so that I can enjoy going back down. So Terminus Cave here. I don't know if this is the particular entrance, but this is the place where we are going to get our Dusk Stone. Of course, I don't have Rock Smash, so I can't fully explore the place, so who knows, maybe we won't get a Dusk Stone here. Huh? What are you looking at? I'm gonna make you help me work if you lose. What work are you doing? You're just kind of sitting there. Well, I like seeing that this Graveler doesn't have Sturdy. Of course, the second one has to win. Part of me wishes Self-Destruct and Explosion would have their damage reduced. If they didn't have full HP. But the other part of me recognizes that that would also completely ruin the utility of those moves. And of course the golem was sturdy too. Battle was a good sweat, even a better workout than all this digging. Digging all day, every day. I tell you what, this job is like paradise for Grappler. Putting Greninja in front because we're in a cave. There's going to be a bunch of rock and ground types. Ho, 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 ho. I dropped my book while I was running across. You see, it was the unabridged version. Ho, ho. Ho, 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 I never hold a grudge. It's all water under the bridge. One of these days, I'm gonna get in trouble for all these dumb jokes. I guess I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Ho, ho, ho. A worker in a cave. Rather picturesque if I do say so myself. And of course, the first thing we encounter after swapping to Greninja is a water type. You and your Pokemon make quite the picture, too. A cave that's completely untouched. Just imagine what kind of treasures might be hidden in here. Wow, I'm such a romantic. Boom! One final Gambit low sweep, right where it counts. Those are two different moves. And you can't use low sweep after final Gambit. At least not with the same Pokemon. Also, those moves don't even make a good combo with one another. Like, final Gambit KOs you and in exchange does your HP in damage to the opponent. And low sweep does some damage and slows them down. That's not a... It's not a combo. Was really hoping that would have been enough. Goodbye, Greninja. Really should have used some of my Thunderbolt PP there. Oh, that was a cracking arm thrust counter, if I do say so myself. You didn't use arm thrust. I could not counter it. Haha, combining move names makes them sound so cool. I came up with it, though. Don't copy me, okay? You don't gotta worry. I had no plans of copying that. Hey-ya! I will tremble as my manly roar echoes throughout this cave. Well, at least this is something we know Extrasensory will get rid of. Sock is less bulky than Throw, but it can be sturdy. And this one is not. We just got unlucky, I guess. And goodbye, Greninja. Howling noise. My howl of pain will be heard by all in this cave. I mean, that'd be pretty unnerving. You're going through a cave and just hear someone screaming in pain. So we actually are allowed on our bike in this cave. Probably shouldn't have hopped those so cavalierly. Or if I want to use better grammars, should not have been so cavalier about hopping those. Okay, why does... Oh, is this the path that opens up later to let us get to Zygarde or something? There we go. While it can be argued that Doublade is better than Aegislash in some situations, I want Aegislash. Shame I can't put a weakness policy on the thing and have it stick around for more than one use. And here I would have thought that King's Shield would just come naturally as part of the evolution process, but I guess it's a heart scale move. If memory serves, the Aegislash that I used to pretty good effect in battles against friends and the local Street Pass San Diego community. I believe the Aegislash I used then was Swords Dance, King Shield, Shadow Sneak. I know Shadow Sneak for sure. And I think it was Sacred Sword as the last move. Might have been Iron Head, but I think it was Sacred Sword. The Sacred Sword ignoring opponents' defense boosts. Makes it pretty potent. And fighting is a pretty decent attacking type to begin with. Fighting and Ghost, if memory serves, is actually near perfect neutral coverage. Not quite as near perfect, though, as Ghost and Fairy, which, if memory serves, covers every Pokemon in the game neutrally except for Pyroar. Yeah, I think Fighting and Ghost is like Poison is the type that they don't cover. People often say it's the beginning of the end. Whatever do they mean? And the thing about Poison being not covered, when you're a Steel type, it's not that terrible. Like, if the one type you can't cover is a type you're immune to. I mean, sure, those poison-type Pokemon are going to have non-poison-type moves, but still. Even if I lose, it's not the end. Could that be what it means? Perhaps it's only the end when there's nothing left. But if nothing is left, then that means there's something. Yeah, if you consider nothing to be something, sure, but most people consider nothing to not be something. And yeah, Outlander, you wouldn't be afraid of Toxicroak because Aegislash is immune to both of its stabs. Can't get that TM without Rock Smash. Well, it's probably not a TM that mattered anyway. We're a pair of wanderers on a journey through Kalos with our trusty Pokemon. One of our favorite pastimes is to battle with the trainers we encounter on our journey. Pokemon are like treasured jewels strewn throughout the land. It's in battle where they truly get a chance to shine. I would run weakness policy on my Aegislash because when it's in shield form, there's basically nothing that can one-shot it. And so, I spend my first turn setting up with Swords Dance, and if they try and hit me for super effective, well then, weakness policy gets triggered, and now I've got +4 Shadow Sneaks, which is generally enough. I mean, hey, it was enough that they nerfed Aegislash in the next gen. Your Pokemon shine more brightly than any jewel I've ever seen. You look like you've been to quite a few places in Kalos. We're a pair of wanderers on a journey through Kalos with Nidoking and our other trusty Pokemon. Whether we win or lose, we make sure to learn from every battle and improve ourselves. Can you feel the vibrations in the air? It's almost as if this abandoned mine is alive and breathing. Just in case we encounter another double battle. Hey, can't you see I'm working here? Oh. I passed up either Brick Break or Shadow Ball, huh? That kind of hurts, but I don't have Rock Smash, so I didn't have a choice anyway. Imagine wasting your only turn on Lock On. Oh no, I'd better get back to work now. What are you doing with a screwdriver in here? The damp air in this cave makes my clothes stick to my skin. Anyway, back to work. Heave-ho, heave-ho. What are you heave-hoing with a screwdriver? It must be dangerous to go further ahead unless you're as strong as the champion. Must it? Why must it be dangerous? So, I have a feeling that the Japanese version of that line, that it must be dangerous to go further ahead unless you're the champion, was probably translated out of context and probably used the word hazu, which means, like, you can use it after a verb to say, it must be like this. Or it can also be used to mean, it's probably like this. Or it should be like this. So, yeah, it was probably a case of, like, a more correct more accurate translation would probably have been like, oh, I think it's dangerous to go ahead if you're not the champion. Not, it must be dangerous to go ahead if you're not the champion, says the only person blocking the way. Like, the way you say that implies that you have not been further ahead. You just found an entrance to stand in front of and were like, oh yeah, it must be dangerous to go past here. And therefore, I have not even tried. Yeah, you can't truly blame translators too much for stuff like that. I say as a translator for games. Because, here's a little secret, a lot of the time, what we are translating from is either a spreadsheet with no context, or a text file with no context. So it's just, hey, next line in text file says this. Cool, do I get any more info? Nope. You can try and find it in-game yourself, but if you don't, well, you just gotta live with what you got. And that's it. So sometimes there is guesswork in trying to translate things. Like, there are some games, actually most games I've worked on, at least, the stuff in the text files is organized chronologically. Like, it'll typically be everything, all the text that can appear on a specific map for a game, which, like, this floor of this cave would be counted as one map. So, all the text that can appear on a specific map in the game, typically ordered chronologically, because often it's written in the order in which it can appear. So, at least in that case, we can use surrounding lines as context clues. But then there's other cases, like one game I've worked on, where the lines are just organized in a way that feels completely random, where we don't even get freaking names for who speaks the lines, because some games, you know, the name of the character is in the line with the text. Other games, they use a variable name tag, which gets set, like, at the start of a conversation, like, oh, this variable gets set to this name for this conversation, except we don't get to see that code, so we just get to see the variable and then the text after. And one of the games I was working on like that didn't even have entire conversations in one go, basically. It's like sometimes another conversation would interrupt one conversation in the flow of the text document. And that was the hardest game I ever worked on, because it was just like that. Okay, so there's Brick Break, which means the TM that I missed was Shadow Ball. That's a shame. And then again, who would I really put Shadow Ball on at this point? I'm gonna save before this sky battle, because we are getting fairly late in the game, and I only have one Pokemon that can participate. Woohoo! I'm a Sky Trainer! Look at me go! Woo! Well, at least Charizard's good against that. We've got Dragon Claw for this. And that's not going to be good for us. Oops, my fingers slipped. So, that Sky Trainer is really scary. I don't think I want to battle it in the first place. I definitely didn't start a battle with them and then lose it. Nope. I just... there was a vibe about them that made me think, oh, I should not battle them to begin with. So that... I don't know what you're talking about. My Charizard never got hit by a Stone Edge. Where'd that come from? Quit being weird. They can't go that way without Rock Smash. Oh no, no, I'm late, I'm late! Oh no, oh no, watch out, watch out! If you're late, why are you throwing Pokemon out to battle me? I feel like you're acting outside of your best interests here. Let's go ahead and Swords Dance just so that we can be sure to take down whatever comes after this Granbull, because my Aegislash is currently incapable of returning to shield form without swapping out. Of course, it got the attack drop. Whatever. Ironhead will still get rid of this Granbull. Dene, huh? So Ironhead will only be neutral here, but a neutral +1 Ironhead with stab from an Aegislash in sword form still does pretty good damage. Hmm? Huh? What? Where am I anyway? How strange. I was on my way to the trainer's school and somehow I ended up here. Isn't the trainer's school, like... here? Yeah. You went pretty far out of your way, lady. Someone's got an awful sense of direction. But hey, we're in Koraway Town. Koraway. Whatever it is. I don't speak French. I'm not good at pronouncing French words. We like rare candies. Hello. I have to apologize to you about Lysander. I'm very sorry for the trouble he caused. And I'd also like to thank you. I'm sincerely grateful for what you did for all of the Pokemon and people of this world. And by stopping Team Flare, you also saved Lysander. I always knew that he desired a beautiful world. And maybe someday the population of people and Pokemon will actually increase to where resources become very scarce. Wait, did we save him? Because, like, he was still inside their underground lab place when the weapon fired, and like the whole thing collapsed down. So unless he moved from where he was, he would have gotten buried in all that rubble. And yeah, Outlander, I get it. It's pronounced like Cour, because French for heart is Cour. So Kouriway. Kouriway? I don't know. The point is, my English-speaking brain wants to pronounce it Koraway instead of Kuraway. Something in Pokemon will actually increase to where resources become very scarce. If someone acts out of greed in such a world, surely some will go without. If all living things keep acting that way, there will be nothing left at all in the end. Why, there won't even be anything left to steal, will there? But what I really wanted was for him to put his ego aside and lead everything to greater heights. I never had this discussion with him, though, so I'm partially responsible for this. Well, enough of that. I'm partially responsible. Well, enough of that. Garnet. I want you and your Pokemon to take everything you learned from your journey and hit me with your very best shot. Yeah, Outlander, my language learning crossed the other ocean. I learned American Sign Language in high school, which actually doesn't cross any oceans. And technically is based on French Sign Language, so grammatically, American Sign Language is more similar to French than it is to English. But then I learned Japanese after that, which, yeah, not a whole lot of relation to French. And learning American Sign Language, while it is based on French Sign Language, doesn't really help you with French pronunciation. French grammar, I might be a little bit better at. But French pronunciation is completely unrelated to anything I have ever learned. You are really something. You and your Pokemon have developed strong bonds by spending time together and by caring about one another. That's why you and your Pokemon are so strong. The strength you've found is simply marvelous, and you truly love and trust your Pokemon. Garnet, a treasure of mine, is hidden in this town. If you'd like, try to find it. Well, I'll be off then. I have many preparations I must attend to. I have a little surprise planned for all of you to thank you for fighting Team Flare and saving Kalos. A device that lets you become a Pokemon. Would anyone want to do that? Ask Bill. But also, Gen 9, the sync machine. Yes, people do in fact want to do that. Lots of people have a lot of fun with it. You know, when he said he hid something in this town, I would have expected it would be in the direction he came from and then went. But then again, maybe he's looking for, or maybe he wants us to look for something with a dowsing machine and not with our eyes. No. 300 Poké Dollars for a bottle of fresh water is a ripoff. I'm gonna assume that the gift was that rare candy I found earlier. But also, just checking for no reason whatsoever. Oh. Or, nope. There's definitely some stuff here that seems to not be unrelated to a potential gift from the professor, but never mind. Apparently there's a house in the town where you can answer a question and get the item that boosts the type of moves that your starter was. Which seems like the type of thing that would be a gift from the professor, but it comes from a different NPC, so never mind. Anyway, here on Route 19, is there anything that I would care to try to get? Nope. Closest is a Sliggoo, and I don't really want a Goodra. Not on this team. Time for a Pokemon battle. Is what the me from 10 seconds ago said. I don't think I waited a full 10 seconds, but still. Clearly this Hex Maniac is just here to show off that Pumpkaboo comes in multiple sizes, and yet she does not show off an extra large or extra small. I could see myself being defeated by you. Did you really battle and defeat me? Am I the same person as the person you just defeated moments ago? I can't prove that. Yeah, you can't prove it, but you kind of have to assume it's true. Otherwise, human knowledge is basically worthless in its entirety. Continuity of the self is kind of fundamental. We are Pokemon Rangers. We bring out the power in our Pokemon. We are Pokemon Rangers. We draw out the power in our Pokemon. They clearly did not talk to each other to come to an agreement on which word to use, bring or draw. Like, I imagine they just walked up to us and said those things simultaneously, but they both used a different word. Actually, let's Dazzling Gleam, because I feel like 2 gleams will probably get rid of these. A part of me wants to use Earthquake, but I know it would be a bad idea because Gardevoir. But then again, Tyrantrum has been intimidated, so... And of course she hit herself. Nice crit on the Miltank. Might have been necessary. We drew out all the power we could. But you proved to be even more powerful. Just gonna completely ignore the fact that he used bring instead of draw. Just gonna gloss over the fact that your practiced intro was completely ruined by his not paying attention. If you want to draw on your partner's powers, you need to know their strong points. But what if you want to bring them out, huh? Guy? It's better to focus on your own strong points rather than try matching up with your partners. She lives by that. It's a Pokemon Ranger's duty to ensure that Pokemon can live the same way tomorrow as they do today. I know there's always going to be a tomorrow, so I don't let defeat get to me very much. Whether I win or lose, I live every day to its fullest. That's what I learned from my Pokemon. Slagoo, I already said I don't want a Goodra. Have you ever heard of parkour? Yes. Need to something. There is, in fact, a ribbon for defeating the Kalos champion. Parkour doesn't really have anything to do with Pokemon battles. Then why did you bring it up before starting a Pokemon battle? Parkour is sometimes called free running. You run, jump, climb, and crawl to move over obstacles and strengthen your body. It's very useful when chasing after Pokemon. I don't have strength. Or at least I don't have anyone who's learned it. And the fact that there's a ribbon for defeating Diantha, while she is rematchable ad infinitum, part of me wants to, as soon as I've defeated the 8th gym, just bring my Pokemon forward so that I can start getting ribbons on them as soon as possible. But then again, defeating the Elite Four and Diantha with the team that I've got right now feels like it's kind of part of the challenge, you know? I protect nature in order to protect Pokemon. What about people, you asked? Never mind that. Let's battle. The term Pokemon trainer has to do with both people and Pokemon. Yes. Yes, it does. What an amazing insight you have. People and Pokemon can coexist, but should there not also be places that are just for Pokemon? Sludge Bomb's a decent TM. Be even more decent if I had, say, a Gengar. But I don't. And we're just going to ignore that Sky Trainer. I've learned my lesson. I mean, no, I haven't. Why would you even assume that there was a lesson to be learned?
Fall before my fairies.
I feel like soundproof doesn't quite work for an ability to give a mime. Like, yes, they're known for being silent, but it's not because they can't hear. Ah, the good old baton pass without even having used a stat boosting move. Just baton pass for the sake of baton pass. Could this trainer have just used the swap Pokemon command? Yes. But had they done that, I might have gotten a hit on something before they could even try to use a move with it.
I can see the fairies. They're waving at me from across the river.
That's based on one of the common Japanese conceptions of the river separating life and death, where those who have passed on already wait for you across the river and wave to you to try and get you to come join them. This girl is implying we literally just killed her in battle.
I can hear them. The fairies are whispering to me, fight, win. That's what they say.
But no, her previous line, it implies that I literally killed her during the battle. Or at least got her so close to death that she saw the banks of the river separating the living and the dead. And now we are going to be accosted.
Garnet! Hey, do you know what's about to happen?
Yep, a Pokemon battle.
That's right, we're going to battle. We are Pokemon trainers after all.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm just going to do a little bit of swords dancing. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm just going to do a bit of swords dancing. And now you may have an Iron Head. I should have used Sacred Sword. Whatever, Iron Head will be just as one-shotty. Feels weird having an Aegislash outspeed things. Like, I know I've got some levels on them, but still feels weird. In my mind, Aegislash is this super slow Pokemon that basically needs Shadow Sneak in order to go first, but I guess this one wasn't bred and raised for minimum attack or anything. So, minimum speed or anything, so I guess it can happen. Just feels weird.
Battles with friends are really, really exciting.
Then why do you look so upset about it? Also, was on a suspension bridge really the right place for that?
That reminded me of our battle in Aquacord Town. That was the first time for both of us to battle with our Pokemon. Hello, Garnet. Hi, Shauna.
What are you two up to?
Nothing big. How about you guys? Why, the same thing as you, Shauna. We heard about Garnet from the professor and we came running as fast as we could.
Garnet, can we have a Pokemon battle? Oh, sorry to just throw that at you. If you were really that sorry, you would have given me a chance to say no. Like I said, we were going to be accosted. Anyway, just gonna get a swords dance up here. Really, acrobatics. That's what you go for when you're a fire flying type? +2 Shadow Sneak should be good enough for Talonflame. It's not the bulkiest of birds. Please no flame body, please no flame body, please no flame body. Looks like we're good. You know, I was just thinking. My two favorite Pokemon types tend to be Ghost and Steel. Aegislash is both of them. I do really like it. It's not my ideal Pokemon or anything like that. But I do really like it. But I just got to thinking. You know, Golurk is a really cool Pokemon. One of my favorite ghosts, easily. It's based on the Golem, which makes sense. It's weird, but I don't get that down when I lose to you, says a man who looks quite down. In games, like, say, Dungeons & Dragons, iron golems are a fairly common thing. I want a Steel-type Golurk, regional variant, or convergent Pokemon. Give me a Steel Ghost Golurk. I want that so bad.
Wow, Tierney asking someone to battle? What's up with that?
Geosenge Town made me think. If Garnet hadn't been there, I wouldn't be dancing now, that's for sure. That made me want to get to know Garnet better, and I thought a battle would be the best way to do that. It's kind of selfish of me, I guess, but it's also a way of thanking her.
Tierno. It's great when Pokemon trainers like us can understand the hearts and minds of other trainers and their Pokemon through battle. But before we do anything else, we should heal your Pokemon. Now it's your turn, Garnet. I think I will follow the crowd and be your opponent as well. But this time it won't be about the Pokédex, it will be a Pokemon battle.
Again, is on a suspension bridge really the best place for this? You guys couldn't have waited until we got to the other side. For reals though, if they made a Steel Ghost Golurk, it would easily be one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. Easily. Unless they made it look really, really stupid. Which I suppose is possible. It'd be one of the only things I could imagine that could even come close to challenging Metagross for my top spot. Nice supersonic miss. Love to see it. The fun part about this battle on the bridge is the move Dig still works. I don't have anyone who knows it, but you can sure use it if you try.
You're even stronger than I thought. There's still so much I don't know. Do I just not have what it takes? Wow, I don't think I've ever heard you worry about being weak or strong before, Trevor. You seem a lot bolder than you used to be. Is it because you went on a journey? Or maybe it's thanks to what you learned from being with your Pokemon and with us, your friends. Speaking of which, where's Caleb?
He's off training with the Mega Evolution Guru. He said friends are friends even if they can't be together.
Indeed. Well, there's something we must attend to. Be seeing you. I'm so glad I went on a journey. I made some great friends. And thanks to my little Fennekin that I met before we left, I was able to visit many places, meet a lot of nice people, and make many wonderful memories. Garnet, this is from us. Even if you're battling without the badge from Snowbell City Gym, you can use Waterfall. I've got to get going. See you.
feel like instead of saying even if you're battling without the badge, you can just say even without the badge, you can use it in battle, because that more correctly expresses what she's trying to say. Anyway, here we are in Snowbell City, which means it is time for us to not actually get the last gym badge, because don't we gotta go through a stupid forest first? Wait a sec. Need to visit the mart. Do you sell TMs or items? Items. What's new, little blue, if it ain't the future champ? Hate to disappoint, but the gym leader's actually out right now. He said he was off to the winding woods if you feel like searching. So, Winding Woods, I know you can find Trevenant here, which is one of the earliest places where you could actually get a trade Evo Pokemon without trading. But that is not what we're here for. Sure enough, I'm not here for any of the Pokemon. So I should put someone who is better at running away in the lead. Greninja ought to do. So, the thing about these here woods and their winding nature is that the different maps here are not connected as you would expect.
We're gonna be the toughest twins in the world.
They both say simultaneously. I've sent out a dragon and a dark type against a pair of fairies.
Oh, we lost. It's okay, we're still gonna be the toughest twins in the whole world.
You're just lucky I'm not a twin.
You gotta know how to get around Protect when it's used against you. You gotta know when to use Protect in a double battle.
Say some twins who never used Protect or had it used against them. Also, it occurs to me, we are in a forest, which means grass types are going to be a thing. So let's have Charizard in front instead of Greninja. So yeah, this is our first real indication that the different maps don't connect how you would expect, because that should have taken us back to the entrance map, but it didn't.
You just ran into a girl who's head over heels for Pokemon battles.
Yes, the topography of this forest is not Euclidean, I suppose. So using superpower against Charizard with an Azumarill, I guess they were expecting a swap, but not a swap to a Gardevoir.
Girls in love don't mind if they lose. Such a mysterious power. Pokemon have such an amazing strength. They bring smiles to everyone's faces.
I don't know about everyone's. I still remember my childhood and how very many news articles there were when the first Pokemon movie came out about, like, oh, this movie that every kid wants to see. Your kid wants to see it, and you'll have to go see it with them. Will you understand it? Not even a little, but you should go take your kid to see it because you don't want them to be the only kid who doesn't see it. They'll be really sad, and you just have to sit and bear it. Like, there were so many things like that, and it's just... Why not encourage people to take some kind of interest in what their kids are into, huh? Why be like, oh, this is a stupid thing for kids. You're not gonna understand it. Don't even try. Just suffer through it for your children. Like, no. Try to understand what it is that appeals to them. At least give an attempt. But no, Pokemon was just gonna be some passing fad. Every single kid was gonna forget about it in a year or two. Yep. We all did. Nobody remembers Pokemon now. Not 26 or 27 years later. No, sir. You know what this place is? Welcome to the Pokemon Village. This place is a secret, you know? Most of the Pokemon here are runaways, escaped from bad people who did awful things to them. It's a shame how many heartless trainers can't bother to care for their Pokemon, or who can't bother to care for their Pokemon are out there. Some of these Pokemon, though, some of them are just too strong and found they didn't really have a place in the outside world. So they came here. He's talking about Mewtwo. There's a Mewtwo here. I see. Your Pokemon sure seem to think highly of you. You've had some good times together, haven't you? Hey, you can all come out now. This one's all right. Sometimes I get worried and come here to check on everyone. Oh, excuse my manners. We haven't even had a proper introduction yet. Name's Wolfric. I'm usually over at the gym in Snowbell City since I'm the gym leader and all. Let me guess, you want to challenge me? I thought so. Sorry to inconvenience you like this. I'll be waiting for you back at the gym then. Before you come by, I think it would do you good to spend some time with the Pokemon here. Boo off to you too. Oh, why thank you. Oh, why thank you. Though thank you less than the dog. Yeah, that guy's not gonna let me get him too early. Okay, this gym looks a little bit more involved than I've got time for right now. What's the dice, chunk of ice? How's my favorite future champ? As you can see, this Snowbell City gym is the place to be if you love ice types. But you've already seized 7 badges from gym leaders all across Kalos, right? I'm sure you don't need any hints from a guy like me anymore, am I right? Right! One more to go, eh? Go show him what you're made of, future champ. Yeah, I'll go show him what I'm made of, but not today. That's gonna have to wait until Tuesday because it is time for me to end this stream. Thanks, folks, for dropping by to watch and chat and all that, and I will be back on Tuesday when we are going to get the final badge and then probably actually defeat the champion. See you then, friends.